Frank, and today I'll be working on this assembly of the Dragon's Lair parody. And one thing I'll do is have these coins that I created be in the foreground, and I can make them like really giant coins if I want. But I set up this background so it has like scrolling to it, parallax scrolling, where it shifts, and the way I'll show what happens there. These coins I just brought in right now, so I have to set those up. But parallax scrolling is when you go sideways and you see all these layers. See how the foreground, this piece here, shifts with the perspective. It's a really neat effect. And as far as the ground, and then if you look in the back, the pillars seem to be in front of the pillars, and the dunes seem to be in front of that red wall, and then these beams of light are more in the foreground, mid layer. So it's a neat effect. See, these coins are wrong. They have to be going, let's say the coin was right there, so that little speck right there on the ground should not be sliding under the coins. The coins should be right over the top of it. So let's say I want to accomplish that. The way I would do it is, let me just set those coins right there. Before I do that, I'll create a new group for the coins, and it'll be like a stack of coins. So what I'll do is take that coin and put it right there, and then I could duplicate it just to vary it up a little, and then just do a flip horizontal, and then move that over here, maybe like that. And the trick is, on the stack layer, what I'll do is up here, now that I'm on the translate layer tool, in the Z axis, this is where I could change it. So it was too slow to match that spot on the ground, so I'll change it to 1, but I have to scale it down again because it's too close now, and then I'll zoom it down there. So now if I move this layer, it's still a little too slow. You can see the spots are sliding under it. So I could probably make it, if I go back to the select, maybe 1.2, and then I could shrink that down as much as I want. I could go right about there. So it looks like it's in the foreground, but when I move it, it should stay right underneath. See, it's too fast now. So it's probably more like 1.2. I'm sorry, 1.1 for the speed. Alright, so 1.1, and then I move that down to the foreground, and let's see, that's just about right. So you get that really cool effect where it looks like those coins are in the foreground. That's one of the coolest things about this Anime Studio Pro program. Normally, like in the movie Dead Fury, in the forest in the beginning, I had to figure out how to time all the layers to get this effect like this. But with this, everything's built right into it, so you don't have to do it manually. It's already set up once you figure out how to set it up. But then it's a really great program, Anime Studio Pro. Alright, so I'll save that, and now that I have those coins where I want them, I could just make a bunch of duplicates, so I could have it stacked on top of that, like that, really exaggerate it. And then I could bring some of these coins down here and then keep duplicating them as much as I'd like. So if I zoom out, you can see what this looks like. With the ground layer, it's all stretched out like that, and I'll show you how to do it really quick just to give you an idea. But let's see, if I zoom out all the way here, that'll help me get these coins in really quick. So I'll just go here, I'll move that over there, create another duplicate, but this time I'll rotate this one. Maybe move that over there, and then create a couple more. I think that's good. And then I do like that large stack of coins right there, but because I already have these set up, I could probably just do another one like that right on top of there. I think that should be good. But see this layer here, this floor, the way I created that, I'll show you with the wall. Let's say I took a layer of the wall, I'll duplicate it, and then I'll just show an example. And let's say I had it here in front. So let's say this is the ground. I can take this layer here, push it to where I want it, right about there, and instead of well, I'll show you. You select this tool here, it's rotate layer, and what it will do is actually rotate the layer in 3D space. So I have to be really careful how I do it, because it's kind of like warping, but it's a really cool effect. See, that's not quite what I was going for. Yeah, that's more like what I wanted right there. So now that that layer is like that, the only thing is the size is a little off. Maybe like that. And then I could reduce the scale of it, but that could affect it negatively. Alright, let me see how that looks. So if I zoom in to the camera, which this blue square, purple square is, and then select the tool, track camera, see the ground's all messed up. That layer didn't work, but that's the idea. That's how you create that effect. So that's how I got the ground to do that. But as you can see, the coins are in the foreground, and they perfectly rotate with the camera angle. So you get that really cool effect. See, the pillars, they don't move very much. I'd like to see those move a little bit more. So with the pillars, let's see, those pillars back there, I could move them in front of the ground. That red wall, that was just the red floor, that was just a test, just to show the tool to use to create this effect. Alright, I see why I have it behind the ground there. I could probably put the pillars back here in back of the dunes, but then I have to adjust this, so maybe 1.1. See, the pillars are moving too fast, so if the dunes are set at 1.2, the pillars have to be 1.3. And then the wall itself, let's see what that is, minus 2.2. So let's see if I got the pillars right. Yeah, it looks a little better. I think I could go back further with the pillars to create more parallax effect. So if the pillars are at 1.3, I could go 1.5 to make it a little more dramatic, so they are not perfectly matched with the pillars, but it's pretty subtle. I'm sorry, the sand dunes. You can see the sand dunes are moving slightly in front of the pillar. But yeah, that's a neat little effect. And then I'll put the characters in here, set everything up, and see how that goes. This is just going to be a really brief scene. This is just to introduce the characters for this parody spoof of Dragon's Lair. Alright, so now that I have that set up, yeah, I think those pillars are fine. I'm not going to move the dunes any further because they're where they should be, right about there. I could have some dunes in front here. That would probably be kind of cool. So let's say I start the scene right here. I could scroll it this way, but I don't think I need dunes in front. The sand dunes, the coins, those are all coins, like in the Dragon's Lair, and then the movie The Hobbit, the one where Frodo goes into the dwarf's castle, and then he sees all the dunes of gold. Alright, so now that I have that, I can jump up here to the characters that I have, and that would be right there. So let's say I have the dragon. Let's see. All I do is click on this tool here, and I'll just drop it right in, but I have to pick the right spot for it. So that would be right about there. So if I go here and just drop that in, let's see what happens. And then since I'm there, I might as well drop these characters in there. And this character here. So what that does is forces me to account for the position. Uh-oh, what happened to her arms? Oh, for some reason I saved it without her arms visible. Huh, that's weird. Probably as part of a animation. Alright, so I'm going to have the dragon in the background there. I just have to sort all this out. And the dragon, I'll move right about here, let's say. Now he would have to be on the same layer as these coins here if he's standing on the coins, and he's got to be really giant, so I have to figure out exactly how to do this. Now that might not be the best spot because his face is right in the spotlight over here, the light. So maybe I'll move him further this way. This way you get to the character through the scrolling. Alright, see if I just scroll it sideways, let's see what happens. Huh, looks like he's almost lined up with those coins. And then this character here, I'll reduce the scale. I also have to decide how tall she is compared to this spoof character Lurk. I think that'll be a funny comparison, have her taller than him. Alright, so I'll click on both of those with the shift, and then I'll just reduce the scale to where I want it. So they're going to be small compared to the dragon, but I want them in the foreground. They're not going to be right with the dragon itself just yet. So I have to figure out yeah, I think that'll be fine for the scale. And then I'll just pick on the individual characters, and then I'll just move them where I feel the layer should be. So let's say he's over here. I'll rotate this character really quick, and let's say he starts over here, and then the Daphne parody character could be maybe over here, and I have to still put all the pieces together. I have more stuff to add to it, but that gives you an idea of what I'm looking to achieve with this scene. So let's say I have to look at the sliding. Alright, so that little speck under Dirk, if I like where he is in the position, I have to consider if he's going to stay there. I'd have to adjust that. However, if I move him and her further down, further back, let's see what happens. So let's say I move them over there. That would make them a little taller in the scene. But let me see what happens here. See, the background is still sliding under their shoes, so I still have to adjust that a little bit more. or I could just move them up even further rather than make the adjustment, but I think that's a good spot for them. So what I'll do is I'll go under this tool here, the translate layer, which is the move tool, and then I'll, let's see, go maybe minus 0.2, and let me see what happens with that. I guess that's okay. So minus 0.2, and then I can make her minus 0.2. Alright, so let me just take a quick look here. I'll just press save. This is going to be the setup. So let's see what that looks like. Just to see what it might look like rendered out. It takes a while for all the layers to piece together. That's why if you have fewer layers, your project will render faster. I was doing a test animation for this new film I was working on, where the characters are in this city, and I decided, oh well, I'll make the whole city right from the start. And the city was so giant that when I zoomed in, it would only go so far, and then once I got to a certain point in the zoom, everything got all messed up and distorted and all weird. So I actually built the set way too big for what the program could handle. So I had to readjust the scale of the images, the size, and it really messed things up. I had to adjust a lot. See how long this is rendering just for one image, one scene? It has to go through each layer, piece them together, and then go from there. So it's a lot. But this will be it for today. I'll just render this out, and just to show you the idea of this scene setup, what it takes to put the scene together and adjust everything. So let's see, it's almost rendered. That took like 5 minutes almost, probably like 3 minutes. But all this will be animated, and let's see, is it almost finished? I just gotta create the coins over here. But see how you have all those layers? The less layers, the less time it takes to render this out. I think that's why it took so long. But this is going to be a short scene, so I don't have to worry too much about it. If I was going to have a whole movie set in this environment, the render time would take quite a while. But there it is. That's a scene right there, and I'll save the scene out. But thanks for watching, and feel free to comment, subscribe, like, and share. And as I continue to work on this parody of Dragon's Lair,